glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kabadash. We're going to get into this article. It says, Thibodeau couple charged with bestiality and child cruelty. A Thibodeau couple has been arrested on charges of bestiality and child cruelty. The Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office arrested Philip Babin, 28, and Haley Meyer, 24, on Wednesday following an investigation after they received reports that Babin had struck Meyer's daughter in the face with a curtain rod, which led to her injuries. Following the investigation, the deputies obtained an arrest warrant for second-degree cruelty to a juvenile. He was arrested on May 15 and was released after posting bail, which was set at $50,000. LPSO deputies continued the investigation and obtained a search warrant for Babin and Meyer's residence. According to deputies, they recovered several devices belonging to Meyer and Babin, which contained videos of sexual acts involving a dog. Arrest warrants were obtained for Meyer and Babin, and on June 17 they were arrested. Babin was charged with 36 counts of sexual abuse of an animal in addition to his initial charges of second-degree cruelty to a juvenile. His bail is set at $360,000. Meyer was charged with 47 counts of sexual abuse of an animal, obstruction of justice. Her bail is set at $520,000. This is an ongoing investigation. So yeah, if you go to play this video, you'll see that there's two, the He'll Have Eyes Edomites who was got caught banging their dogs, man. And this is who Jake is worried about getting into the kingdom of heaven, man. A red Edomite. Here it is. Not only will he bang your kids, but he'll bang your dog too, man. And you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, you are head over heels in love with Esau Edom. You seem like you can't go living your life without them, man. Here it is, the Edomites don't give a damn about you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. They only use you for labor or to make them money, and you get that twisted with, oh, they love us, they like us or something. And here it is, you got the Edomite man and woman having sex with a dog. And the scriptures speak about Esau, Edom, having relations with animals, man. This is what they do. Esau is outside the temple, man. He's profane. There's nothing you can do to save this man. I don't care how you try to clean him up. I don't care how many Bibles you give him and try to teach him the scriptures. He cannot be right, man. He was created to be the wicked, man. He's crooked, and he'll never be straight. The Most High didn't create him to be straight or righteous. He created him to be the damn devil that he is, man. So you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans need to get that through your thick-ass skull, man. That I don't care how much you try to pray for him, hold his hands, this, that, and the third. If he's an Edomite, his ass is not going to make it, man. He's going to be a slave in the kingdom of heaven, and he's going to get his back whipped. Man, woman, and child. It's just that easy. But let's get some precepts. So, I got so many apps on this thing, and some of them look similar to the color. I forget exactly where I was going. But this Job 30:1. But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yeah, this is Job talking about the Edomites. he would not have them set with his dogs, man. Because he know, even back then they was banging animals, man. Job knew how Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, got down, man. They knew they was going to do something freaky to that dog. Verse 2. Well, let's jump down to verse 5. Verse 4. Let's go to 4. Who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. So they used to cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for the meat. You know? It says they were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief. Yeah, because they knew Esau, Edom, and the Edomites were nothing but scumbags, man. They was on some freaky stuff. They stink all the time. You know, they would wear their clothes until it disintegrated on them. They was like wild beasts in the field, man. You know, they look like, you know, when they showed them old, I think they had the Flintstone movie one time, and they looked like cavemen like that, man. They wore them kind of clothing, man, like sack-like clothing. Stink, then showered and groomed themselves. You know, fucked up teeth. All that and above, man. Verse 6, to dwell in the clefts of the valleys and caves of the earth and in the rocks. Yeah, that's Esau, Edom, the so-called white man's natural habitat, man. Being in the rocks, being in the caves, man. You know, they love spelunking, cave searching, man, cave exploring, because that's their natural habitat, man. You know, they try to get tour buses on the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. You know, they try to say, you know, we hood, you know, we belong in the ghetto, this, that, and the third, but they live in. But they belong in the damn rocks, man. In the caves, man. No electricity, no nothing. You know, they like living in the earth, man. That's their natural habitat. Verse 7, among the bushes they brayed, under the nettles they were gathered together. Yeah, they brayed, you know, under the nettles, you know, they didn't even have a language, man. They brayed like animals, man. You know, they communicated like woo, 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 you know, like monkeys, man. They the true monkeys, man. You know, it took the so-called Negroes to you know, clean them up, man. Give them a language. You know, the Southern Kingdom to clean them up. Because they was just happy being filthy, man. You know, they was still kind of stinking a little bit when they was in Europe, man. Once they came out of them caves and you know, started the Renaissance, you know, they still was funky. And they still funky now. Some of them Europeans still stink, man. They don't believe in taking showers, man. You know, they got that nice, funky, strong odor to them, man. Verse 8, they were children of fools. Yeah, children of base men. They were viler than the earth. Yeah, they children of fools, man. Of base men. The lowest man on the totem pole, Esau, Edom. You know, he's the scumbag of the earth. You know, he's a base man. And he's viler than the earth, man. And you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, I had this man watching your dog, watching your kids, man. You know, you niggas big him up, put you on your football, he put you on his football fields and his basketball courts, and you niggas think he's a changed man. You know, he ain't too long got finished beating your asses in slavery. You know, killing you, raping you. You know, that's not too long ago. Burning crosses in your yard, dragging you down the street and pick up trucks, raping your women. You know, and you can't do nothing about it. And now, fast forward today, he let, you know, supposedly let you niggas out of chains, and now all is well, all is forgotten. You know, I'm sorry. You know, you ain't that old devil that you used to be. You's a changed man now. Fuck that. He's still the same old filthy devil, man. He always was and always will be. Until his ass is finally taken off the planet, man. Man, woman, and child. But, you know, I just wanted to bring that article out because, yeah, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man and woman are viler than the earth, man. You know, if they're Edomite, they're a fucking scumbag, man. You do have so-called white people that are our people. You know, they go back to Israel. But that's all through the spirit, though. You know, you got to try the spirit. You know, so, hey, that's the proof, man. They love humping dogs, man. You know, they love getting it on with animals. Why you think they love playing with animals, man? That's all you see in these zoos and shit like that. And these wildlife marines is the Edomites. They in them molesting and sucking off them animals, man. You know, they in them zoos laying on their back. You know, got an animal pinned up in the corner, man, sliding something up in them. And the so-called white woman is doing the same thing. She's sucking something off, man. She's sucking a damn giraffe off or something. You know, so you gotta realize, man, you dealing with a beast. You know, known as Esau Edom, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. And with that, man, I pray this video was edifying to the elect. Hang on, man. You know, we almost out of here. Before I get out of here, give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakapadash. Shalom.